Good evening, everybody. Happy early St. Patrick's Day, just in case I don't get on here and see you before then. See the new pipe? Couldn't resist. I had been looking at these Peterson St. Patrick's Day pipes this year, and I went back and forth. Me and Mrs. Buckeye went back and forth. By the time I decided, yeah, I'm going to do one, all the emerald ones were gone, and they had the dark green ones, which I don't like as much. Just personal preference. If you have a dark green one, you know, they're cool. I like these emerald ones. Got a message this week from smokingpipes.com, sitting at work in a meeting. We just got these. More Petersons in, more Peterson St. Patrick's Days. So sure enough, go there and bam. 307. I don't know if you could tell by the video. Do that. That's what everybody likes to do. This thing is loaded with bird's eye for a Peterson at this price range for St. Patrick's Day pipe. Fantastic. I have to say I really am enjoying this shape as well. This is a 307 fishtail, and in it tonight, what Smoking Pipes calls the champagne of vapors, Solani. Really good. Come out in really big flakes, really big flakes. Those things must have been, I don't know if they were 2 foot long, they were 1.5 feet anyhow. First pipe of the week, so thought I'd get on here and maybe tell a quick 80s story. So I was looking at some of the responses to my me and Mrs. Buckeye's GAW that we have going on, and there was a lot that revolved around fishing. So that took me back. Took me back to my childhood. So growing up in small town Ohio, grew up on this little lake called Buckeye Lake, and it's central Ohio. It's about 25 miles east of Columbus. It's a man-made lake. It's about 8 miles, I think. Lot of cool things, a lot of little bars and pubs, and a lot of boating, a lot of swimming growing up. An awful lot of fishing. So growing up was I fancied myself a big crappie fisherman. Really wasn't much for catfishing or anything like that. Some of my friends did, but I was more of a crappie, bluegill, bass, panfish kind of guy. But for my money, crappie was what I really enjoyed fishing for. Always remember we would take our poles, and I would take one of those big 5-gallon buckets. My grandparents always had a bunch of those laying around, and I'd take a 5-gallon bucket, take a couple poles. When I was a kid, my tackle box, I'm ashamed to say I don't have a tackle box right now. I think Mrs. Buckeye and I are going to get back into fishing. I don't know why all these years I got out of fishing as much as I enjoyed it as a kid. But I had an extensive tackle box for a kid. You know, chum and minnows, Mr. Twister lures, you know, all kind of stuff. I actually would get stuff from Cabela's and Field and Stream and Bass Pro Shops. Well, Field and Stream didn't sell anything, but I subscribed to their magazine as a kid. And just loaded all different kinds of the little grub jigs with the jig heads and the tails. Just all kind of colors and flakes and solid colors, and you know, we thought we knew what the fish, you know, I think we could have thrown any color in there, and the fish would have bit. But we would go. There was 2 bait stores in town, really. We would always stop in one on our bikes and pick up a box of grub worms or wax worms. Man, this salami flake is good. If you haven't tried it yet, may have cracked into my top 5. I am not going to lie. But anyhow, and the room note's fantastic. It smells fantastic. And this Peterson pipe, I've not been the biggest Peterson fan, but man, this thing draws so well. Might have to give Peterson another look. So we get our wax worms and we put our jigs on and go down by the marina, down around the docks. It's where we were crappie slayers back then. So we go around the docks and, you know, just fish around, you know, the legs of the dock where they anchored into the bottom of the lake. Fish around the boats, fish around some rocks. And there were days, I'm not exaggerating, there were days I would pull out, we'd pull easily 50, 60 crappie. All sizes. Throw them in our, you know, we'd put our 5-gallon bucket down there, draw out some water, and just throw them all in there. And I was good at catching them. I didn't say I was good at cleaning them and cooking them. So I would take them home and my grandparents would clean them and we'd cook them up. Nothing like fresh crappie. Definitely going to have to get back into that. I was watching a video on YouTube earlier this year. Guy doing some bluegill fishing. And man, he was pulling them right out of the lake and right to cooking. Right there. Eating them as he was fishing more. Doesn't get any fresher than that. Got bit by the fishing bug a little bit. Watched one of Doc Bravo's videos. If you haven't subscribed to Doc Bravo, he's got a fantastic channel. Man, the way he meshes his videos together and the humor and the music he puts in it, just top notch, man. Just top notch. Great stuff. But he does a lot of fishing. Was watching him the other day out fishing for some trout, I think it was, and walking to the woods to get there and just throwing a line in. Yeah, the bug kind of bit me. So we do so much camping. I just don't know why we don't do fishing. I think we'll fix that this year. Sit around, smoke some pipes, and do some fishing. My mom and stepdad would always take us fishing as kids as well. You know, kind of the same thing. More pan fishing, more bass. The one time I did do some catfishing, I caught one of the best bass I'd ever caught in my life. We were fishing with some night crawlers and bottom fishing and caught the best bass I've ever caught. So go figure. The one night we were trying to catch catfish, which wasn't often. We take our poles everywhere. My stepdad, my mom has passed, unfortunately. You know, gosh, it's hard to believe it's been 7 years. It's been 7 years. But I'm still, you know, obviously in great contact with my stepdad. He's going to get out and get to fishing here pretty quick. So, nothing quite like it. You know, I guess life, I just got too busy with life. Like I said, we're going to fix that this year. But fished all over. Had an opportunity, 7, 8 years ago, 6 years ago maybe, to do some salmon fishing on Lake Michigan. That was a good time. We put out some fantastic salmon, but getting a little bit off kilter, but going back to the 80s, just, man, there were times even, we had this place we called Mud Island, and it was our secret fishing hole, and it was probably a good 3 to 4 miles from my house, and on a busy road, out Old Millersport Road, which most people drive 55 plus down that road. There are plenty of days that here we go riding our bikes out there carrying 2-3 poles, that big 5-gallon bucket, tackle box, just loaded down on that bike. Cars whizzing past us, just crazy stuff, man. I look back now. Of course, no helmet, nothing like that. Stuff what didn't exist in the 80s. But we go and bring them fish back every time. So, man, takes me back a lot of years. But good stuff. Would love to hear, any stories you have maybe growing up fishing. Did you and your buddies go, or was it family, or a little bit of everything? And again, we were fortunate growing up on a lake. I could walk less than a quarter of a mile down the road, and I could throw a pole in the water if I wanted to. We were that close. We didn't live on the lake, but we were that close to a canal, I should say, not the lake. Probably walk a half mile and get to the lake and throw a line in if you wanted. But man, yeah, we tore that marina up. We were out there all the time fishing, all day long. So, but that was us in the 80s, doing our crappie fishing. We were serious. We took it serious. Well, we thought we were serious, right? Serious as, probably 8 to 12 to 13, 14-year-olds. Probably ran its course. By the time I got about 15, 16, started working, driving, that's when fishing started halting. Another memory I just hit me was digging up night crawlers. Or even after it rained, we wouldn't even dig them up. After it rained, we'd run out, and they'd be on top, obviously, on top of the soil. We had a garden, so we'd go out there. Let me dump out some of that ash. We'd go out there and just pick up night crawlers and then put them in a big box of dirt. Save them for the next time we went fishing. Did a lot of cane pole fishing with my grandparents. That's how I learned. And then it was rod and reels from there. So, wouldn't trade those memories for anything. And fortunate we were able to do it. So, but anyhow, that was old Buckeye in the 80s and his fishing stories. So, really just wanted to jump on, say hello, do a quick video, give me an excuse to break in this pipe, this Peterson, St. Patrick's Day. Give me a chance to put some Solani in the bowl. First time out with that. Highly recommend. Really good stuff. So anyhow, YTPC, you all take care. Have a great night. Wishing you all the blessings in the world. And God bless y'all. We'll talk to you later.